Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's Lionel. I'm your host for LT Productions. You are watching I Watch You Watch. We are covering Raising Kanan. This is Power Book 3, Season 4, Episode 5. I appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Thank you for you supporting my platform. Please support more by liking this video. You can share it. Also, leave your comments below so we can dialogue. And you can subscribe if you are new here. Now let's get into this episode. Okay, so this episode hit hard. If you have not watched the episode, I'm gonna give a spoiler, but it's not gonna be until the end because no, it shouldn't have went down like that. But hey, that's what happens. But you can pause me and go on and look at the episode before you review this, before you see my review, or you can wait till the end. I don't know, whatever your preference is. I still encourage you all to support the show. But anyways. We start off with several flashbacks of Sean, famous. His mom was dealing with a lot of domestic abuse. I believe that this is his father. Who knows what it was, who he was. There was a lot of situations where her mom had to be a punching bag for this guy. I'm gonna assume that that's his father. Finally, the mama wanted to break free. She took the older sister, the sister that was staying with, that famous stayed with for a few minutes, and then also was dating Uncle Lou, I think in the first season or second season. Anyways, when this is when they were younger. Finally breaks free, goes to a homeless shelter, rebuilds their life, all that good stuff. Back into present time. Just to get some stories out of the way, Juke talks with her friend, the friend of her. They're calling her a manager. I think he was her pimp, but whatever, husband or whatever. The friend asks Juke, did you have anything to do with what's going on? The police believe that it was a home invasion, a robbery. And Juke said no. And she said she knows that it's effed up, but hey, I have to get this out because you did just ask for his address. And she said no, I had nothing to do with that. The lady, the friend, also did express that this is the first time that she's slept well in years, and it's a relief. And she said, should I be feeling bad that I'm feeling this way? And she said, no, you finally got your relief that you needed, so you were just fed up and something was done for you, blah, 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 blah. Marvin's at home, and Juke is about to rebandage Marvin's wound because the dude did cut him up and all that good stuff. Marvin wanted to talk about her putting down somebody, and she said no, I don't need to talk about it or whatever. And he went on and was talking about well, the army must have made you get used to putting down bodies. And she said it wasn't the army that got me used to putting down bodies. I mean, look at the Thomas family. You can start there, or you can just look at what's going on with Queens, Jamaica at the time in New York. We'll have some more scenes with Juke, but they're not really significant like that. Rock goes and visits Terry's brother and is trying to figure out what's going on because at this point they're not moving his product, at least distributing out to the different restaurants that they're supposed to be at. And the brother said, Terry's just not really feeling this. We're not, you got all these people just being unalived. I'm trying to say some words that are YouTube friendly, so please forgive me. And he's just not feeling it. And Rock, again, said, you need to push out whatever product you have left, da-da-da-da-da. We're not doing this all over again, da-da-da. Rock talks with Marvin and tells him to go and be a little bit hard on him, but not too hard. We're gonna find out something a little bit later. I don't know why Marvin does the things that he does. Or does the things he do because Rock told you not to go as heavy as you did. But hey, I hear what he was saying and all that good stuff. I would have at least gotten the approval because then they're gonna start questioning you on certain things. So I don't know. Anyways, Unique still being scary and crazy. He dropping off money to his baby mama. He travels to Sal, the guy that was unalive last year, brother, because he wants to do business. And basically Sal said, no, you don't even have enough men. You need to set up your organization and then possibly you can talk to me. But you're not a one-man army, and all I am is just looking at someone that has a hard-on for revenge and totally erratic with his behavior. And he pushes him out of his building and all that good stuff. Unique was pissed about that. But yeah, Sal told him right. Like, think logically a little bit, because you acted just quite stupid right now. You're saying you want revenge, but you don't have a real game plan. You want to F up Rock's life, but what are you going to do once Rock's life is effed up? Like, that's the part that I've been missing and been kind of like, you just look stupid. And you look like Ronnie was last season. Like, you just out here just doing all this erratic stuff that's just not really making much sense. You want certain things, but you don't even have no men. Even if you want it back in the business and take back what you lost, you don't even have any men on your side or any position at all. It's just F up Rock. And you still have no evidence, and you're still not asking the right questions. And I think that is quite dumb also, in my opinion. Famous mom. She's still looking for her boy. She's gone to the police, all that good stuff. The police said, you need to go talk to Kanan Stark. And she said, what would he know? They were best friends. And he said something about best friends and all that good stuff. I forgot what the saying was. But anyways, that piqued her curiosity, and she did go to Kanan and also to Juke. They talk. She wants to know, does he know anything about Famous? And they said no. And she said, well, the police think that you have know something about him. And he said, well, which one? Garcia? And she said, yes. Well, that's what he's been doing. I have nothing to do with what's going on with Famous. And we want to see him. So for a while, I have been thinking, okay, Kanan, did you do something to this man? Because it was just hard because of how things ended up. And last season, we saw him starting to confess some stuff. And then next thing we know, we didn't see him no more. I was like, did you get a hold of him? And all that good stuff. But I don't know. What did you guys think during that scene? Like, possibly they were hiding something. Anyways, Kanan gets a call, which I thought was a beep. Why does everybody else have a beeper and Kanan got a phone? I know this is early 90s and cell phones were very, very rare at that point. And only a few had them. I thought he had a cell phone, but maybe it was his beeper going off and he went to go call someone. I don't know. Anyways, Grandma Thomas fell. Juke and Kanan, they go and see about her. They leave Famous's mama to say that there's a family emergency. She said that she's hurting everywhere. She thinks it's a cancer. And they're like, well, maybe we need to call the ambulance to make sure that you're okay. Of course, she said, I can't afford it. But they insist on calling the ambulance for her. You don't know if there's something more going on with you. But she said, cool, but the bill is not on me. Lord Jesus. They take her to the hospital. And she fell. She has some bruising, but she will make a recovery. However, she's going to need like 24-hour care or someone that's assisting her and all that good stuff. The siblings were all paged. Lou came first. He said, and he was told by them what's going on. And Lou was like, look, I can't be her caretaker, her nurse. 10 minutes in, I'm going to go back to drinking. And they said, well, maybe we can hire a nurse, da-da-da-da-da. And they said, well, talk to your aunt. Or talk to Rock. And Juke says that everyone's been informed. Marvin's on his way, and Rock has not answered as of yet. So Marvin goes and visits Mom. Mom is trying to say that, you know, I raised you better than how you are, and I don't understand why you're letting Rock treat you like you're weak and all that good stuff. And I'm paraphrasing. I was like, okay. Marvin doesn't feel that way. But I think Marvin was saying out of his mouth, but his reaction's like, maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit. I think there's going to be some other type of beef between Rock and Marvin coming up. Probably before the season ends. I don't know how drastic it's going to be, but it's gonna be quite challenging, I think. What's up? So she wants to be put out of her misery, Mama Thomas. It said that she bought more morphine from the nurse, which that makes no sense. Wait a minute, so you didn't want to buy an ambulance or pay for an ambulance, but now you done bought some morphine from some nurse? I mean, I know the nurses, they take an oath, but why didn't you just pay her to inject the morphine into her? So she wants Marvin to do it. Marvin has to think about it. On the other end of town, Kanan, this was beforehand, but I'm going back. Kanan is talking with one of his boys for the organization, and he's talking about, we're kind of skimping on payment to Rock, and just kind of, that she's going to notice pretty soon and all that. And Kanan was like, don't worry about it. I got all this. So you just tend to your business. Do you need some money or something? No. So Kanan's playing a weird game. I don't know. But he goes to the storage unit, and we find out where the money's going to. He has a storage unit that is a trunk where he's got a lot of money. It looks like Kanan probably in the near future is going to really come out large as far as his power and all of that, because he's really wanted to step out of Rock's shadow, even though Rock is still teaching him a lot of things, but he wants to be his own man in this whole industry. Daquan and Rock. At this point, Daquan wants nothing to do with Rock. She's not paying what he wants her to pay because he did up everything and all that. And basically says, I'm not supplying any more to you. He said, I respected Unique more than you. Blah, 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 blah. And Rock tells him to F him. And she leaves. The dude boy for Kanan has been a snitch or a double agent for Unique. He tells Unique that Rock got problems with Daquan and that Kanan is skimping off of Rock and all that good stuff. And then Unique gets him out of the way. Well, that puts a bug in his ear, or it makes a light go off, and he goes visits Daquan. And all we see is Daquan first asks, I thought you were dead. And he said, well, I've been hearing a lot of people say that, and Daquan was like, all of a sudden just started smiling. So obviously there's going to be an unholy alliance between those two, because this is what finally Unique is walking in the right steps as far as taking over and all that good stuff, whatever he's trying to do in the drug game. Rock meets with the other person that she wants to be the supplier and all that good stuff. He said, I told you that I would reach out to you. Why are you here? And she said, well, I'm not on your timeline, and your timeline don't work for me no more like that. I need to know what's up, because she done lost her distributor. He said, look, I need to meet with everybody that you're affiliated with, and then I'll make a decision. And she said, cool. Lou and this new girl, what was her name? At the record label. They go scour new talent. She's giving him 411 on the biz, and he wants to know her secrets as to how you know about these different ones, these rappers and all that stuff. I can't give up my trades, and I think that's smart. I don't know why, but I kind of feel like this girl is going to double cross Lou, and I think that she's coming for his job. I don't know, but it just seems too uncomplicated, and I think that because of Lou's lack of knowledge, he got more street knowledge, she got more industry knowledge. I think that she's going to use that against him to do something. I don't know what, but I just don't have the best feeling towards her and her intentions. They meet with a few rappers, and they're going to talk about getting these rappers on board with their label. There may be some problems, but she seems like she'll be able to work things over as to getting some of these rappers as artists on their label. Lou lies and says that he went to a musical school. As far as I know, they ain't go to school. So if y'all let me know in the comments, because I didn't know that. Okay, go Lou, go Uncle Lou. And what I mean for a music school, I guess, to learn about the business or at least be trained musically, all that good stuff. I think he's lying. Anyways, They end up going back to her house or his house, and they smash. And I think things are about to change. Let's see what else. What else? Okay, so Marvin goes and sees Terry. Terry has now said, I'm through with you guys, and I'm going to go to the police. I guess they were blackmailing him because of a picture. It looked like he has been cheating on his wife, and he said, so what? I don't care no more. I'm going to go to the police, da-da-da-da-da. Marvin ends up powing and making sure that he was unalived. I don't know how Rock will feel about that. I understand the threats he was making and all that good stuff, but I can see some potential something else going on with Rock and Marvin at this point. Because there's too many messages of people saying at how Marvin needs to find his own path. So, there's only 5 episodes in. What else is happening? Marvin goes and visits Mama Thomas. He gives her some water, and it looks like today's D-Day. He touches the syringe, and then he tells his mom, sorry, I can't do it. So then, at this point, the mom's being mean and nasty, saying, Marvin, sorry. Marvin, sorry. Get that out of here. I don't ever want to see you. Because he won't put her out of her misery. That's the kind of stuff that I was like, a little bit, I can see Rock, or at least Mama Thomas, I see things that I saw in Rock before. So are Mama Thomas and Rock the same or similar in ways? Because now y'all trying to act like he weak because he won't end his mama's life. What? Do you know it's one thing for a stranger and it's another thing that you would do that to a relative? It's enough for a stranger, but now he got to carry that? No, I'm glad he didn't do it. I just said walk away, because a lot of times he gets baited into doing things because he's not in control of his behavior or his emotions, and he let his emotions get the best of him. But he walked on out of that room, and I'm glad for that. So there was this scene that I thought was awkward. I'll come into the end, into the spoiler. There was this black little boy that went into one of the convenient marts or bodegas, and he's stealing some liquor. The owner and cashier basically caught him stealing, and he runs out the store. Well, the dude goes and chases after him for a little while. I was like, why? Like, give it up. Like, I ain't gonna sit up here and chase. So the boy, probably about 9 or 10, go into this abandoned building, and he's trying to hide. And the cashier owner guy of the bodega ended up catching him. At the same time, he's hiding behind a couch. He sees a body underneath a mattress. He just sees a hand. So he goes and lifts up the mattress and sees that there is a decaying body. Next scene is Famous's mom and Garcia, the detective. They have no doubt that this is Famous. His body is out of whack, but Mama wants to see it. They said that they got to still do the dental reports. She sees it, and she knows that is Famous. News gets back to Kanan. And Kanan did the right thing. That's his best friend. And he just broke down and cried. Strong, old, bullheaded Kanan, hard-headed Kanan broke down because that's his best friend. They really love each other. And this episode hurt to know that his body gone. But whatever happened to him, who knows? I mean, it's enough that he's gone. It's enough that he is gone. Lord Jesus. So Famous is gone. How y'all feel? I almost want to cry, but I'm not going to cry. But yeah. So that's how the episode ended. I was hoping that Famous was alive and he just got out of Dodge. And he would stay out of Dodge. Because this life wasn't for him. So, y'all let me know your thoughts of this episode. What do y'all think about this A&R label girl towards Lulu? Do you think there's going to be a rift between Rock and Marvin? Is Unique headed in the right direction finally? Oh, and Unique's baby mama went to Rock and said, I know that you pop out Unique. why are you giving me all this money? And she's like, I wouldn't do that, blah, 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 blah. Why would I do that? And she said, probably because you're feeling guilt. And she said, for the last time, I did not do that. And maybe there's people that are close to him that want to treat you good. Da, 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 da. And she said, well, nothing in this world is at no cost. And I don't know, possibly there's going to be a scene between her and Unique. I don't know what's going to happen, but we shall see. But yeah, let me know your thoughts of this episode. Rest in peace, Mr. Fame, Sean Famous. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And until the next video, peace.